This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Friday, September 11th, 2020, and it's the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, it's Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, I'm doing it out of order. From Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Minor.
LeBron James is the GOAT.
And back from a week-long vacation, author, podcaster extraordinaire, Jamie Ivey. Welcome back.
Hey, guys. Did you miss me?
We missed you while you were lounging by your pools and doing whatever you do.
Okay, first of all, I was not lounging by my pool. I was working, but I did meet up with Derek and Tyler to have a drink when I was in Nashville. So I got to meet them face to face.
No, you can't. Hey, delete that. You can't be telling people that you had a drink with me. Evangelicals not gonna let me rap for their children.
It was a non-specific drink. You were allowed to have water.
You could have had a seltzer and lime, you know?
It was a good
That's
drink.
what I assumed.
Sorry,
everybody,
guys.
Derek Minor picked up the tab for all of us, so that was nice of him.
What?
Thank you for supporting Derek's music and providing him the ability to pick up his friends' tabs.
Derek, up until you said that and caused me to stumble, I thought you were talking about you guys went for milkshakes or chocolate milk or something. We're adults, but we're also Christians.
So, Jamie, you were in Nashville?
I was in Nashville all week, and so I was doing just a ton of interviews. I have a book coming out October 1st, and so I was just swamped, busy.
That's
exhausted.
awesome, though.
Wait,
Yeah, it was great.
So it wasn't personal boundaries, margin, vacation reason why you missed the last two episodes. It was just you preferred other work to this work.
No, it was just I had to do it. I had to get it, and I had to do it. And, I had to do it. And I was so sad because here's the deal. I was like, they're going to not have me. And then next week, they're going to be like, hey, you're out. We're done with you.
We would never do that.
I'm glad you're back. I'm glad to be back.
Jamie, you brought up, speaking of meeting, Derek and Tyler are out for drinks.
Milkshakes.
For milkshakes. I feel like we're at the time in sort of the pandemic where people are like slowly having sort of gatherings like that. And because everyone knows the story of Jesus turning water into grape juice at a party, I feel totally okay about telling this story. So I had a buddy the other day that I haven't seen in a while. And he was like, hey, we should meet up. And there's a brewery down the street, and it's called Farmhouse. And basically, it looks like if Chip and Joe designed a brewery, right? Like a big house on like a big field with like string lights and like ironically fancy kind of like Airstream trailers with like food trucks and stuff. You get the picture, right? Not really my kind of vibe. I like a little grittier place, but it's okay. I'll go there. And it was very crowded that evening. And we went inside to order our beverages and catch up. We haven't talked about our milkshakes. And a critical part of the story is the milkshakes that we were buying require that adults show ID. And so, most of this brewery, they moved all the operations outside. But where you go in to order your milkshakes, which require an ID, you have to go inside the building, which means you put the mask on, right? Yeah. And my buddy, he's not a huge fan of the mask, but he understands. He's doing his part like we all are. And he's wearing a Survivor buff. He's a big Survivor fan. He's like one of the few people I know that still are heavy into Survivor. So he's got a Survivor bandana. I got my mask on. We go to order.
Wait. He has like a fan, like the branded the bandana, to the show.
The one he ordered it from the Survivor website.
Nope.
He's that deep on the He watches every season. Okay, that's his big thing. So we go in there.
That's his thing. Like he's known as the Survivor guy.
Oh, dude, if you want to talk Survivor, he could chop it up all day with you. So we go in there.
I've not seen one episode.
I haven't seen one in probably 15 years.
Yeah, I haven't seen one in 15 years.
So we go in and we walk up to the milkshake bar, and and there's a long line behind us forming. It's a lovely evening out. A lot of people have the same idea we did. It's right in the middle of the week too.
A lot of people wanted milkshakes.
Yeah, and so we go up, and the bartender is like, "Hey, first, can I see you guys' ID?" Now, for people who don't see the Zoom video, I don't think I look like I could possibly not be any younger than. I mean, Jamie, Derek, guess how old I am just visually right now. I'm going to look it right in the camera.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't actually know.
Smile, and you guess my age.
I know that you've been doing this podcast for a while.
Me too. Yeah.
You look like you're like, no lie, like 20, 21, 22.
I'll take it.
Well, you're wearing your hat backwards. I mean, that adds to it. Your cap.
Jamie,
I know you've been doing this podcast a long time. I know you're married. I know you have children. You have to be you're in your mid-30s.
I am 37 years old. And so my buddy is, he's like 38 or 39, and he looks much older than me. He's been
surviving for a long time.
Exactly.
It wears on you.
Exactly. So we go in there, and he has a beard with quite a bit of gray in it too. Okay. But the beard is being hidden by the survivor bluff. That's the problem. They can just see his eyes. So we go up there, and they're like, "Hey, we need to see some ID." So I pull out my driver's license, and my buddy pulls out a folded piece of paper that came off of a printer. Okay. And he hands it to the bartender, and she's like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Listen, I called the DMV. My license was expired. And they said that because of COVID, they're not issuing new license. They said, use this as your driver's license." And they're like, "Well, do you have anything else? We can't just take a piece of printer paper that you printed off." He's like, "I got it from the DMV." Things are getting intense.
Is his picture on it?
There was no picture on it. And so they literally said, they said, "If you have anything in your wallet that has a picture on it, we will give it to you. It can be anything." And he's like, "Okay, fine." And he hands him his Apple Pay credit card, which the problem is it has his name, but no picture ID. They take his Apple Pay and they look at it, and he's like, "Look, match the name on the Apple Pay card to the printer paper." And they're like, this won't suffice. Just give us your old driver's license. And at this point, it's getting heated. And he's like, "It's void." And he goes, "That's it." And he takes off his mask. He goes, "Look at this." And he takes down his survivor's bluff, and he's showing his graying beard. He's like, "How could I possibly not be of legal age to purchase this milkshake?" Okay. And he's very frustrated because we've been waiting in line. We haven't seen each other in a long time. And at this point, there's a crowd forming at the bar. And look, I can't abandon my buddy, And so then, as he's like begging the milkshake bartender to accept his printer piece of paper, some guy walks up to him, okay, and goes, "Dude, can you please put back on your mask right now?" That was the final straw.
That's it.
Yeah. My buddy's like, "Are you serious, man? Are you serious? Is everyone here serious right now? Have we all lost it? Has the pandemic just caused everyone to lose it? Who's serious right now? Who's
serious right now?"
I'm just standing there staring straight ahead.
And now he's on Twitter.
I'm staring straight ahead, like very awkward. Like this is either going to end with both of us being forcibly removed, being beat up by a bunch of people, by the other patrons, or the police called. So I just grabbed him. I said, "Put back on the survivor bluff and let's get out of here." It was a scary situation.
"I'll take 2 milkshakes. That's what I'm ordering for myself is 2 milkshakes."
Well, they knew they wouldn't
do
that.
They were on to you.
But I went out to one of the fancy food truck things that I got him because they were only selling the beer inside. So he had to drink like a sangria from one of the food trucks. It was very emasculating. It'd probably been better to have nothing. But it's stressful times out there, guys.
It's stressful times. And the mask, everyone's getting carded with the mask because it makes you feel good for a moment. You're like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah.
I'm 42.
Yeah, there you go. So,
getting ID'd?
Yeah.
Because they can't tell by your eyeballs.
Yeah,
how old you are.
Your eyeballs don't say how old you are.
Yeah. All right, well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, one of our favorite indie rock duos, Wye Oak, joins us. Now, here's the connection. The band is featured in the new issue of Relevant that we told you about on the last episode. So if you saw that feature, today you'll get to hear part of that conversation and some stuff that wasn't in that feature. So stay tuned. All right, we're moving the show along. Stay tuned. Up next, it's the Hot List.
Just
You're listening to Shamir. The song is Running. Well, today's show is brought to you by BetterHelp. It's something preventing you from achieving your goals or keeping you from experiencing peace. With all the heaviness that's happening in our world, it can be difficult to find peace and purpose. That's why there's BetterHelp. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You connect in a safe and private online environment. You can start communicating in under 24 hours, and you'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, and you can message your counselor anytime. To top it all off, it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states if you're in that field. I want you to start living a happier life today. As a Relevant Podcast listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/relevant. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/relevant. Okay, it's time for...
It's the hot list. The hot list. It's sizzling.
Please welcome to the show, Relevant Senior Editor Tyler Huckabee, to tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, everybody. All right. So the first news we're kind of going over into when I brought this piece up to Cameron earlier today, he said, well, Derek should have some thoughts about this one. So, Derek, you're up. You're up.
Oh, my gosh.
It may not be what you're thinking, though. This is going to be because this is my lane, too. But we're going to start by talking today about an actor named Robert Pattinson, who has obviously been he's been in the news a lot lately. He got famous off of Twilight. Spent a few years in like the weird indie movie circuit. Sort of having a little bit of resurgence. He's in Tenet right now, and of course he is going to soon be known as Batman. We got our first look at the new Batman movie last week, but tragedy has struck in Gotham because just 2 days after the Batman resumed filming after getting delayed for the COVID-19 pandemic, it was announced that somebody on the Batman movie had tested positive for COVID-19, and they were having to shut everything down again. And then it was revealed that none other than Batman himself, Robert Pattinson, was the one who tested positive. So everybody's going back in. We don't know when this is going to start filming again. We don't really know when this movie is going to release. Apparently they've only filmed about 30% of it. And it is a good reminder that I know things are kind of open and back up around the country, but if the lamestream media and Hollyweird can't keep their prize goal that this movie is supposed to be the one that saves Hollywood and brings everyone back to the movies when it releases. If they can't keep their star actor safe from the coronavirus pandemic, then I don't know what chance the rest of us have either. So it's really important to stay safe, keep wearing a mask, make sure that unlike Batman, your mask covers the bottom half of your face instead of the top one. That was probably where Batman went wrong. And if you can socially distance, I hope everyone's still doing that. But Derek, you and I texted about it a little bit. You told me that when you saw the trailer, you said you started crying.
Bruh, listen, man. Grown man, big black man tears, bro. I was like, look, dog. You know what? I almost started crying when I found out he got COVID because I'm like, dog, if Batman can swing across all these buildings, have all these inventions, if my dog died from COVID, I'd be so sad. It'd be like, dang, that'd be the most anticlimactic Batman ending ever. But, man, I hope Pattinson gets, you know what I'm saying, get himself together.
The next half of the movie, though, he's going to wear that top mask thing, and he's going to have a big survivor bandana.
I was going to say, to be fair to Rob Pattinson, they gave him the opposite of a COVID mask. It covers everything but you need. It leaves the eyes, nose, and mouth wide open.
Right.
Can I give one Rob Pattinson anecdote that I don't feel like I am reasonably indifferent about his career. I don't really have that many thoughts about it. I haven't seen a lot of his kind of more eccentric kind of indie work. and don't really have any feelings about Twilight. But I read a profile of him not that long ago.
Is this the GQ profile?
Yeah, the GQ profile.
Oh, yeah.
And
This is good.
the greatest anecdote from it, right? Because at this point, and Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm pretty sure we might have been texting about this article at some point, but I'm pretty sure that the interview was conducted during a filming hiatus because of pandemic concerns. And Rob Pattinson at that point, he's got Tenet coming out. He was in production for Batman, but everything shut down. So he's just laying low in his apartment. And it was there that he dedicated his time to developing a new casual dining option that he's just been fascinated with. And he actually spent his filming hiatus inventing a product. And I got to tell you, the execution sounded terrible, but the idea was fantastic. Okay, so right now, you go to one of these casual dinings, like a Chipotle type of situation, right? Yeah. The market used to be cornered with like a Subway, where you put fresh ingredients and you walk out with a handheld sandwich, right? Mm-hmm. And then, after Subway was like, Quiznos and all these other places come, but it was all sandwiches. Chipotle comes along, blows everybody's minds with the casual dining burrito. You just take it in your hand, a piece of foil. Well, Rob Pattinson's a big Italian food guy, and he had an idea for what it's not a panini or a calzone. This is lasagna, handheld lasagna to go. And basically he invented this in his apartment, and he bought all the supplies and it sounded like pretty rigorous R&D he was going through. He got two big, but the final product was this. It was like 2 pieces of flat pasta, and he jammed them full of cheese and sauce, but somehow sealed it up so you could eat it with one hand. And it was like a to-go handheld lasagna.
Jesse, that's a Hot Pocket.
No, it's not bread. It's not bread. It's pasta. Like it's closed.
It's not sealed.
It's sealed pasta. It's a pasta noodle.
It's a big ravioli.
It's a giant ravioli. It's a go ravioli. And I'm like, dude, why hasn't anyone thought about that?
They did. It's called ravioli.
But you hold it.
But like a
I'm
foot
just
long.
I'm laughing at white people gentrifying other white people's inventions now. Like it's like they ran out of black inventions. We gonna gentrify the white people's inventions. My man said, I got a great idea.
We've already pillaged all the other cultures. Let's just go to Italy. Tyler, you read about this. Weren't you was that the most, that was to me the most intriguing part.
You are not mentioning probably the most important part of that conversation, which is that he tried to make it on Zoom for the GQ interviewer, and he set his microwave on fire. And then, so I don't think it's there yet.
It's not there yet. But I'm just saying, if you had the option, guys, right now, like what
fair, he was drinking a lot of milkshakes when he came up with that idea.
Hey, listen, Cameron, he's in quarantine like everybody else. He's trying to get through. Okay, but so yesterday I went to Chipotle, right? And I know what the expectations are. They make it the same every time. And it was a little online deal. Got it to go. Walked up to the door. They handed it to me. But if there was an Italian option where you get this handheld raviolo lasagna, Jamie, you are probably the most cultured out of all of us.
Not even close.
How does this strike you as, let's say the price point is like, I don't know, $7
like a Chick-fil-A price point.
It's like a Chick-fil-A, and it's about the same size as a chicken sandwich, but it's to go lasagna ravioli handheld. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm in as long as Robert can make sure that cheese and that sauce is staying inside that noodle, because the worst would be driving down the road trying to eat your handheld lasagna ravioli, and you got cheese everywhere.
Yeah, noodles are like raviolis are squishy. Like you need that
Robert's
crunch.
got to do something new, I guess. He's on it.
You need that crunch. You need some.
It's a hot pocket.
Yeah, and then we're getting Hot Pocket territory.
Well,
again.
I feel like, and Tyler, again, you read this interview. A significant portion of the interview was devoted to him talking about this and the ingredients. Like you could tell, even the GQ or profilers, like, listen, this pandemic, I really got nothing. I mean, if we're doing this over Zoom, sure, let's talk about your handheld lasagna.
Quarantine will make people do crazy things.
Yeah, you were more impressed by the idea than I was, Jesse, and I feel like more impressed than the GQ interviewer was too, because there was an era of, he was objective. He's a good reporter. He was objective, but there was an air of skepticism in the write-up to
all good ideas.
What Pattinson was saying. And like I said, the microwave was on fire. That was clear. So it's not.
That's not his fault. He doesn't have the proper equipment. He's testing it. You think? Okay, Google started it in a garage, Tyler. You don't think Sergi or whoever, what I forget his name, you don't think he had a couple mishaps with the water heater in the corner? Listen, big ideas. Did anyone knock Bill Gates when a computer got all dusty because he's building Microsoft out of a storage unit? Just,
you got to start somewhere.
What an origin story. It started in a microwave in an apartment during the pandemic, Tyler.
Also, imagine being on I'm sure they have somebody, I don't know what the name of this person would be, on the Batman movie, who's in charge, the trainer, who's in charge of getting Rob Pattinson in superhero shape. And then you read this GQ profile and you're like, you're eating what?
That's all I was thinking.
This is not six-pack. I don't think that was on the diet that they handed over to him when they sent him to go into lockdown.
Oh, man.
Real quick about Robert. Have any of y'all seen Tenet?
No, not yet.
Y'all don't go to the movies like we do.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
I'm not trying to die.
I haven't seen it. My whole family saw it. And but I haven't seen it. It's not my type of movie, but whatever.
The reviews are pretty good though. Everybody says it's amazing. But
they left more confused than when they got in there, so that's what they said about it.
I've said this before. The sweet spot for Rotten Tomatoes for me is about 65%. Anything over that, here's why. Anything over 65, that means it's probably pretty good. It's probably just a good, boring movie. Look, another good, high-rated movie. Just what I want. No, I want something that's polarizing. Like, why do about 40% think this movie's not good? Why is it that 60%, just over half, said, no, that was pretty good. But 40 said, this is terrible. Those are my sweet spot movies. And so that's why I really want to see Tenet.
And that's why last week when we talked about awful movies, you had so many awful movies that you've seen because
more interesting.
You take chances on that.
That's right.
I can't take, listen, man, like if 75, if we're not getting 75%, I'm not even probably going to waste my time.
That's me.
But how many comedies, have low ratings because they weren't critically acclaimed, but they're
that's different.
Great, like Step Brothers and stuff like that. Okay.
Comedy is the exception. Comedy is the exception to the rule because at the end of the day, for me, it's the actor at that point. If it's Will Ferrell, it's a go. You know what I mean? Like that. But as far as like a drama or an action film, if we're not sitting at 75, especially if it's not like, I'll take a bad superhero movie all day just because I want to see my favorite comic book characters come to life. But if it's something I've never seen before, and I don't know who's directing it, who's starring in it, and it's like 65%, I'm gonna just catch it on Netflix.
Yeah, there you go. All right, what else do you have, Tyler?
We're staying in the lane. We're talking about another actor. This one you may not have heard of. We're going to talk about an actress whose name is Marisol Nichols. Who she kind of did her favorite. She did the rounds on some soap dramas for a few years, CSI, and then career took a little bit of an unintentional hiatus, and has recently come back and been a major player on Riverdale, that CW, the like hot Archie show, what if Archie was cool, that show. So she recently revealed in an interview with Mary Claire that during her time, kind of her post CSI career, before she got cast in Riverdale, that she volunteered with the FBI to be bait or a mole to help infiltrate some child trafficking rings online. She would pose as an actress. She would pose as a mother who was trying to sell her kid online, and be sort of a what's the name, Chris Hansen type figure for potential online predators. And she's been doing this for 6 years now. She was undercover with agents for this was called, kind of a weird name, Operation Underground Railroad and local law enforcement to serve as bait for these sting operations. She did this domestically and she did this internationally. And she just went clean about all this. And now, after talking about her time there, she is going to be cast in another new TV show that is going to be about her experiences. She's going to produce and set to star in a show in which she will play herself as an actress who goes undercover to break up human trafficking rings.
It's great. Well, I
Good
also
for her.
I read though what's craziest is that she was like real life alias because she's doing this with the FBI and then got cast in Riverdale. And so she's shooting Riverdale. And then after she'd leave the set, she would go to these sting operations and she was living this double life of being an undercover agent and a famous actress. Like at the same time. It's crazy. And
That's
so
crazy.
now they're doing a show about her.
Were the stunts, Tyler, that she was doing, was it in person or online?
It was online.
Online, okay.
This was online, yeah. She did not go, she was not part of the drop-off. And obviously, her time with the FBI has come to a close because she's now becoming recognizable enough that I don't think the predators out there are buying what she's selling anymore. But she looks young and she would even sometimes pose as a minor to try to lure
Like
predators
Jesse.
in. Couldn't find any
Jesse's
details
friends.
about how many successful stings there were or how many arrests were actually made or anything like that. But still, she was. It's something to be said for being like, well, my career as an actor is kind of drying up. I wonder if the FBI needs help breaking up human trafficking rings and then actually doing it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's super dope. Yeah.
Good for her.
That's crazy. Good
No, I
for
want to
her,
watch
yeah.
Riverdale. No, I
I'm
don't.
good. I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
gonna pass
I
on that
actually
one.
Yeah, I can't say.
Pass on that one.
I mean, help yourself. But
What's the Rotten Tomatoes rating? Is it 75 or above?
I may have told you guys this before, but years ago, this was a long time ago. It was back when like the Chris Hansen Dateline show, like To Catch a Predator, was on, where they would lure these predators.
You weren't on it, were you?
No.
Okay.
Years ago, but years ago, I had some buddies over, and we specifically came together with the intention of writing some sketch comedy, and we're like, we'll make them into YouTube videos. It'd be hilarious. We walked away from that night, probably 5 hours of work, with one idea, and it was called To Catch a Predator, and it was like, and we have an exterior shot of a house, and like you see this Miata driving up, but it's Predator from the movie Predator, like Alien vs Predator, like the monster.
Oh my gosh, Jesse.
And like the Predator walks up with like Mike's Hard Lemonade, and they're like, "What were you planning on doing? What were you planning here now?" He's like,
Would watch. Absolutely.
I mean,
You're not right.
the sketch didn't get much further than that, but yeah, it was a good 5 hours of work.
One gag, 5 hours of work.
But instead of like cops in the bushes, it was like Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers and stuff. And well, you know, they didn't respond to our request to be in our sketch.
It's a great idea.
All right, what else do you have, Tyler?
All right, last story, and this is where we're kind of staying on this same. And this was really interesting. It has become a beat that I've become very interested in. I'm sure you all have seen over the past few months that there has been a growing interest in sort of online vigilante activism against human trafficking. It's become a summer thing. Sometimes because of some very real and very horrifying cases, like the Epstein situation. Sometimes it's a Wayfair shipping container thing, which is a little less reputable of a conspiracy theory as these things go. But it's definitely been an extremely hot topic.
I mentioned Wayfair yesterday. Like my friend's looking for a bar table or something, a milkshake table, and then I was like, "Well, check Wayfair." And they're like, well, no, I don't support Wayfair because of the trafficking. I was like, what do you... you know that's not real.
Right.
Yeah. There's one of my favorite podcasts, Reply All, did an episode a few weeks ago about...
With Mantzoukas?
Yeah, with Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah,
Did you hear that one?
I did, yeah.
Zooks really steals the show on those. But they did kind of a deep dive on that conspiracy and laid out why there are portions of it that are not only absurd, but those people who are perpetuating it have actually damaged some innocent people's lives who just happen to have the same names as people who work at or executives at Wayfair. it's a dangerous conspiracy to perpetuate.
And we're going to get into a little bit of that here. We're actually jumping the gun a bit because I do think that a lot of the attention that's being paid to human trafficking right now comes with some pretty serious misunderstandings about the reality of human trafficking. Well-intentioned, absolutely. I think I'm not accusing these people of not caring about the issues, but if you go in half-cocked without knowing all the facts, you could end up doing more harm than good, which is the case of what happened last week in Georgia. So there was a press release that many news outlets, including our own, received from the government, what the headline of which was U.S. Marshals find 39 missing children in Georgia during Operation Not Forgotten. A press release said that the government had rescued 26 children, had safely located 13 more, and had made 9 arrests. It was reported in the New York Times. It was reported in People magazine. Sounds like a really good thing, but then a journalist over at the Huffington Post did some digging into this and found that the situation is really a lot less clear and in some ways much more mundane and not nearly as gripping as the headline makes it sound. Found a few interesting things, kind of breaking down some of the stats in here. So yes, Operation Not Forgotten in Georgia set out to find 78 children who had been listed as critically missing by the government, and did successfully find 65 of them. But of those 65, only 15 of those were suspected of being victims of trafficking, and of those, only 6 were actually confirmed. The rest were recovered from various situations. They could have been at a friend's house. They could have been crashing on the couch of a parent who didn't have custody. Some of them were just on the streets. And then many of these simply had their cases closed without really being found, which could have meant they were found by a different agency, or that the child was actually never missing in the first place and had just been incorrectly reported as missing. The operation did not take place in Georgia. It took place over several states over the period of a couple of weeks. So there was no real single big sex trafficking ring. And I think that's what people think when they're like, why isn't the media talking about this? It's this idea that federal agents are rappelling into some sort of underground bunker or kicking down the doors. It's less dramatic. It's less of this isn't a Liam Neeson in Taken situation. There was only one person who ended up being charged with sex trafficking. And in fact, one thing that I realized here is that in the U.S., in order to be, if you're a minor, being trafficked doesn't necessarily mean that you were kidnapped or that you have a pimp or anything like that. Anytime that a minor, even of their own free volition, trades anything sexual for a place to stay, for drugs, for food or whatever, they are listed as trafficked. So you don't need a boss. You don't need a head honcho pulling the strings.
Yeah, you see this a lot, and obvious. It's a weird sort of straw man that sort of pops up in a lot of conversations about politics and social policy. About well, I'm against child trafficking. That's why. It's like, well, everyone's against that. It's horrible. But you also see statistics being manipulated a lot of times when you see the number of being thrown around about the prevalence of child trafficking. Like you said, Tyler, a lot of it's not that it isn't an important situation that people should be involved with and aware of. It's the opposite. They shouldn't have misinformation about it, because a lot of those situations are, domestic situation, custody things where, one parent takes the kid and the other one says, well, they don't have custody. I reported missing. People need to be to do their homework when they want to get involved with being kind of educated about this issue, because unfortunately there are strands of people who have underlying political motives that willingly manipulate these types of stories to make it seem like, one, the media isn't doing its job to tell people about this, and two, there are these conspiracies that kind of reach far into things. Dispelling misinformation does nothing to help the cause of preventing child trafficking.
Now, Jesse, nuance is not the American way. It's like, this is black and white, man. Yeah. There are these rings and you just bust in there, kick the door down with your AK-47 with the bump stock on it, and you just level everything in your way and you ask questions later. And that is how you get results in America. You feel me? That's what we need to do. Just letting y'all know.
Derek has a big milkshake in his hand. If you
I'm sitting here listening to this, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, okay, what you said was, police officers or federal agents were knocking door to door, and they were finding people that were lost in different type of situations. And my first thought was like, man, that probably is a better use of your time than beating up protesters or catching guys for bad checks and kneeling on their neck for 9 minutes. Like, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, even regardless of the politics behind it, I'm like, man, that's actually a good use of time. Like, hey, here's this list of people we have no clue where they're at. Hey, let's go find them. Mm-hmm. Let's go do that instead of going and beating up black people over a half an ounce of marijuana. Like, I'm like, hey guys, let's do that. I'm all for this. Like, I'm like, thumbs up. This is it. This is I love this.
It's a positive story. It's just not like you're saying. It's not a dramatic story. Yeah. It's not as interesting as the press release. Yeah.
It's work. It's like
it's detective work. It's boring and it takes a long time, and the results aren't this. There's a lot more details about all of this, and we've broken it down over at relevantmagazine.com. You can check it all out there, even if it's not quite as exciting as the headlines of some other news outlets might make it seem. It is worth reading. And we've also linked to some other organizations that are doing great work in the actual world of human trafficking, who have the resources and the wisdom and the experience to do good work there. And obviously you can check those places out as well.
So here's the question it just seems very coincidental. And, maybe I'm stepping into Jesse's lane here, but it seems really coincidental that Robert Pattinson all of a sudden has to stop filming because he has COVID. And then all of these sex traffickers have been abducted. I think, been apprehended. I think maybe, he's actually Batman and he's out there doing the work.
FBI knew a good thing.
I think that's what's happening. I think they're working. I mean, they worked with the Marisol chick. There's no reason why they can't work with Robert Pattinson. You know what I'm saying? I think that, he has all those tools and stuff. No reason at all. So that's my opinion.
They saw his.
That's not COVID. It's not COVID.
They saw lasagna and they were like, this is a man who thinks outside the box.
That's what it is. It's not COVID. It's not COVID at all.
Fueled by handheld lasagna, he takes to the streets.
All right. Well, thanks, Tyler. Go check out more every day. We're publishing over at relevantmagazine.com. Stay tuned. Up next, Wye Oak joins us. You're listening to The Belonging Co. and Sarah Reeves. It's the live version of Just Want You. Well, today's episode is also brought to you by HelloFresh. You can get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh lets you skip those trips to the grocery store and makes home cooking fun, easy, and affordable. HelloFresh can help you eat more sustainably. Pre-proportioned ingredients means there's less prep for you and less food waste. In the packaging, HelloFresh sends your food in and is almost entirely made from recyclable or already recycled content. Their program is flexible. You can easily change your delivery days or food preferences. You can skip a week, pause it whenever you need. HelloFresh has been incredibly delicious and convenient for me and my busy schedule. Actually, I love cooking HelloFresh, and my son loves it too. They make it easy and affordable. Right now, you can go to HelloFresh.com/relevant80 and use the code relevant80 to get a total of $80 off your first month, including free shipping on your first box. Additional restrictions apply. Please visit HelloFresh.com/relevant80 for more details. That's HelloFresh.com/relevant80 and use offer code relevant80 to get a total of $80 off your first month. Well, Andy Stack and Jen Wassner make up Wye Oak. They've been creating indie rock classics since 2007. Their latest project, No Horizon, released this summer, and although it was written before the pandemic, Andy can't help but look for ways that his music has fresh relevance to our new context. Our very own Tyler Huckabee sat down with Andy to talk about releasing music in the pandemic and the toil of creating music. Here is part of that conversation.
Something that happened with this release, and that I think happens often, is that the music that you write, when it then comes into the world, it gets some kind of new meaning, or it gets recontextualized, and it feels renewed. And that definitely happened here, kind of creepy way. Like there's one song called "No Place on It" that's like all about living in this like no place in this like in between nothing space, like emotional void. And when all this stuff started happening and we were just finishing the EP, it felt really eerie, and that was not really something that could be predicted, but it's a universal sentiment. And you can, if you're writing something real, then it can get kind of recontextualized depending on what's going on around you. I do find for myself that often the best path toward getting something that I don't hate is figuring out a way to like dissociate and go into some sort of like I don't know if it's higher or lower plane of being, but and just sort of like free associative stuff, and I don't know, getting to that place where it doesn't feel like it's coming from me, but it's coming from some other place. I don't really know what that place is, but when I can do that, I generally feel like it's, I don't know, you lose the affect that way. We are much more in control of our own, I don't know, narrative or the way we present ourselves than we used to be. I think we've had a long enough stretch of time where we just are kind of continuously shifting and evolving and defying ourselves, that it's come to be sort of one of the defining things about the band. And earlier on, I think there were, I mean, not just fans, but even like different people who we worked with, who were scratching their head, like when we did Shriek, and we sort of started playing with some different textures and some new styles. Like there were definitely some people scratching their heads on our like, team or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like, I guess you still get some of that stuff, but my experience with it is like the last few years, everyone's been really supportive of some of the kind of harebrained stuff that we want to do. And it's made us feel more emboldened, and I think it's also made it possible for us to keep going in a lot of ways. The song that really stands out to me is the last one, which is like the prettiest. It's sort of a ballad, and that was one where the kids in the group, when we performed it with them, they really took to it, and there's some really kind of thorny vocal counterpoint writing in there that I was pretty sure they were not going to be able to hang with, and they just, like, first time they just absolutely nailed it. And it was just like also an example of like seeing this really large group of kids singing and all like smiles on their faces. Like you could tell that was like their favorite, and so it became my favorite too. It was great.
When the world is just a concept, everything has hidden meaning. Trees in the wind are tapping Morse code against my window, and the sun goes down, and the face of the moon is marked with words, messages in a hidden language.
That was Wye Oak. Make sure to check out our feature on them in the magazine section at relevantmagazine.com.
You're always on my mind. Can't wait another night. When are you coming home? I need to see you now. I'm shaking every time. You give me loving eyes. You make me paralyzed. You can prove it. Your thoughts keep on bouncing round and round inside my head.
You're listening to Washed Out. The song is Paralyzed. Well, many thanks to Wye Oak for joining us. Again, you can read that feature plus many others, including the cover story on Maverick City Music, the Avett Brothers, some amazing think pieces, conversations with faith leaders. The magazine, Relevant Magazine, is back in an all-new way. Go check out issue 102, issue 102 at relevantmagazine.com. It's right there in the nav bar. Just click magazine. On that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Derek Miner.
I'm Jamie Ivey.
We will see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, check out our Relevant Podcast Network, featuring shows like Relevant Daily, Signs of Life, Unedited, and many more launching throughout the year.
Sure, let's talk about your handheld lasagna.
Relevant Podcast Network.